Jinjer, I think I pronounced that right, have just released their brand new single, Duel, with a music video. I believe that is the title track of their new album that comes out in early February. And also, I know nothing about them. It was one of those days I was having a look for something to react to. I was having a little skim, and nothing was really grabbing my fancy, nothing I was familiar with anyway, and, you know, I'm unlikely to do a reaction video to Travis Scott, things like that. So, if in doubt, what I tend to do is jump onto Napalm Records YouTube channel and just have a look, because there's usually something fun there, and I just kind of go by gut. And the last time I did that, I ended up reacting to Dominion, One of Us, which I had a great time with. It's a great video and a great band. So this time, what caught my eye was Jinjer, a song called Duel. So I obviously did a quick bit of Googling about Jinjer before I thought I'd launch this reaction, to find out that they are Ukrainian, which has obviously got a fairly large impact in the geopolitical state at the moment. So yeah, no, they've been going for a while, 2008, I think, 7, something like that. In fact, I think I saw somewhere that they have got no existing original members left in the band. It's a completely new lineup from when it first started, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of a band like that before. Like, at that point, do you not change the name? I don't know. But yeah, they've had lots of drama over the years. They had a drummer fall out of a window and break his back and had to get replaced and all sorts. But yeah, obviously, the Ukrainian war is going to have an impact on them too. But apparently in March 2022, they had received permission from the Ukrainian Ministry of Culture to leave Ukraine and tour as ambassadors of the nation, which is pretty worthy, because obviously I think at that point they were trying to not allow their entire population to leave the country because they needed people to, you know, be soldiers and stuff. So I'm trying to skip around a very dark subject here. So either way, respect to them, they left the country. They are, you know, touring around, trying to raise awareness. I've seen some pictures of them with obviously big Ukrainian flags in the background of all their shows. They've toured with Cradle of Filth and other such extremely heavy bands, which does make me think that this band might be too heavy for me. But hey, I'm really interested to give it a go. So yeah, let's jump in and see what Jinjer Duel is like. Okay, yeah, it's heavy. Wow. I really like that little percussive break there. The new drummer, or the newer drummer, is going in. I really like that kind of like very non-traditional. The whole thing just dropped out for a second. They got a little ding-a-ling-a-ling on. Was that like a cowbell or something? I don't know. Also, I like the art style of where this is going already. Good lord. They sort of remind me of like a more progressive sounding Slipknot, almost, tonally at least, but with slightly less, I don't know, I feel like with Slipknot it's usually quite regular with their beats. They have that kind of marching thing. This is like everywhere. The guy's kick drum is getting worn out. In a winter's icy clear, where the snowflakes gently sleep, a duel unfolds, a cold upon her day abide. I was not expecting her voice to be so clean over the top of it, honestly. It's mixed quite high on top of this, like, very heavy background in a way that I was not expecting either. But yeah, just more melodic and less, I mean, I'm sure maybe she'll scream at some point. But yeah, no, I was not expecting her to be so pure. Also, the art style of this music video is absolutely captivating. It's got me completely suckered in. Must have been quite a labour of love to hand animate something like this. Nice harmony. Oh man, the colour palette change. The drummer really is putting a shift in on this. I feel like the drummer is absolutely responsible for large amounts of the sort of tonal shift of the different sections here. The guitars are obviously playing different notes, etc., but it's like a very quick, tight pick, a heavy picking, or it sounds like, you know, drop power chords basically. And the drum, so like they're really opening up and closing and changing rhythmically with the different segments. It's really interesting. Ooh. I liked how the music video synced up with that like really heavy bass bit kicking in just there. I mean, I'm going to assume that the specifics of what this song is about will be a little bit lost to me without going and looking at the lyrics, but I can guess based on the imagery in front of me what it's about, and it's you know, it's definitely casting an image. That is absolutely true. Also, her vocals remind me a little bit of Nightwish. I don't know whether or not that's just me conflating sort of like heavy female singers, but yeah, even some of the way that those harmonies are put in together, they quite reminded me of Nightwish. Oh, there we go. Oof. Some of those little like flourishes in the music video where the color palette changes just slightly to emphasize a rhythmic moment is awesome. Also, Girls Gotta Scream on her. That was like, that's not just like a, I don't know, an Emily Armstrong like give a big blast. Like this is like a guttural, which is quite impressive to be able to sing so like sweetly, you know, so close together with that. But the song's got a very, very interesting use of space in it. I feel like it's, I know it's quite not an empty sound. That's absolutely not true because the bass and the guitars are absolute. Well, the guitar I think is like really, really sort of deep and metal and quite hard. But I don't know. The song feels very open. Again, I think that might be partially down to the drummer. Good lord. Oh, okay. I like this tonal shift. This bit almost reminds me of Metallica almost, a sort of, I don't know, having, well, specifically Spit Out the Bone, which is one of my favourite Metallica songs, which I know is going to be sacrilege to a lot of you, but the sort of like sudden rhythmic changes and then the sort of sections really change their energy because of that. It's definitely, again, got that kind of progness to it, but I like this new section. Oh, nice slide. Wow. And the contrast. There's some really interesting tonal stuff going on there with the chords being selected as well, but the transition out of that really heavy screamo section into like, you know, multiple harmonies even was like pretty impressive how fluid that was. I'd love to see them do that live because I just always think that it must be quite difficult to come out of doing gutturals like that quickly. Man, I love those little bits with the video syncs up. It's quite discordant as well, despite her having, when she's like singing rather than screaming, she's got like this very pure voice going over the top of it, but the backing is really doing some like interesting off notes, and you know the I don't know what chord structure they're following on this one, but you know they're definitely, it started off much sweeter with the contrast with the guitars, and by the end of it feels like the kind of wheels are starting to fall off, and we're getting to this point now where I don't know, they're kind of operating at different levels. This sort of backing is mostly dropping down and doing these descending note sequences while she's kind of like trying to soar above. It's a really interesting dichotomy. Uh-huh. Oh, okay, got me. I quite like when the bass is left to handle a lot of the like really root note stuff, and the guitar does a little bit more, I know, well, picking basically. I really like that section there. The way that came back in there, it, A, got me for a second, and B, I know the introduction again, but you have this sort of like more melodic guitar line over the top. I like it when they're doing that. God damn the imagery. With context that's heavy. Love that harmony. I really like this section. The way that those vocals are like overlapping with each other. I think they've only got one singer, so I don't know how they do this live. But the way that the vocal line, actually, there was a second there with the harmony displaced itself. It almost went in canon, and I really love it when people do that. I know I really like this section. I'd take a whole song of what this section sounds like. She's also singing with a lot of emotion. There's a lot of I don't know, sort of interesting techniques being used in her like vocal delivery across the board here. Use of space again. God damn. That was a journey, that song. It was very proggy, especially considering the song's only 4 minutes and 43 seconds, which is, by sort of like proggy metal-y standards, really not that long. But I went through a lot of places. In fact, I'm not sure, did any section repeat? If it did, I didn't catch it, or at least there was some subtle variation in it, which was great. Personally, for my taste, the screamy stuff is too heavy, but I know that's just me. I am very specific about how much and what kind of screamy stuff I like. So I didn't really like that bit too much, but the musicianship just across the board, the way that the bass, it's just one guitar and a bass as far as I'm aware. There's probably some overdubs, but even still, it's a fat sound, all things considered. I really like it when she's harmonizing with herself. Those sung versions of the choruses in that last section were awesome. The use of space across the board was very, very clever. The drums held that together in such an interesting way. It really did help to distinguish between the sections in the song. And I don't know, just he had a very diverse set of going around in various parts. In fact, I can really feel some like 12-Foot Ninja and other sort of like interesting proggy stuff in there as influences. I like that a lot from that perspective. The guitar tones were nice and quite heavy. I did find the vocals in the very intro to be mixed slightly weirdly, like a little bit too high over the top maybe. It almost felt a bit like karaoke, but that's a minor critique. I don't know, that song was interesting. The music video was impactful. Again, I can only assume it's addressing the war, and why wouldn't they? God, it's obviously very important to them. And, you know, that imagery going on with the context of knowing who this band is, along with the lyrics and some of that vocal performance towards the end especially, even though the contrast with the screaming and the pure stuff, I can see also having a lot to do with the narrative that they're currently going through as a country. So I know that imagery was really impactful and powerful, and the music video was very good. I love it when bands do this. They just completely off the rails. There's barely any, like, you know, well, there's no performance in it, obviously, because it's animated, but it borderline doesn't even really address musicians, even though I did love the occasional moment when the sort of shapes unfolded themselves and sort of came down with a drum beat or a guitar bass slide or something like that. That was really clever. Those nice little details really synced it up lovely. But yeah, no, just from a color palette perspective and a visual perspective, it was amazing. I bet you that was a labor of love to put together. But yeah, no, that was great. I'll have to have a look and see if anyone in the comments knows any more about the context of this specific song. I would love to know about what it's about specifically. So if anyone wants to let me know, that would be fantastic. But yeah, no, good for them. I keep fighting the good fight. I hope they continue to, you know, raise awareness within the metal community, I guess. Even though that being said, I get the feeling that the metal community is mostly fairly cool when it comes to their like geopolitical beliefs, but who knows. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all of that crazy stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.